Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Vet Talks. Man, that was really weird to say good afternoon because normally I'm saying good morning, good morning, good morning. But hey, good afternoon. Happy Valentine's Day. I am so excited about this show. I know we're throwing you off a little bit because we do our shows on Monday, but hey, it's Friday, it's Valentine's Day, but there's no better guest I can have today than my beautiful, sexy, amazing, talented, stylist, everything extraordinary
you can
wife.
Keep saying those things.
What's that?
You can keep saying those things.
I'll just spend the next 30 minutes just telling you how amazing she is. It's probably what I'm going to end up doing anyway. So thank you so much, my beautiful wife, Sage McEuin.
Thank you for having me. Happy Valentine's
You might want to
Day.
bring that a little closer to your face if you're not having to yell. Just talk normal.
Oh, okay. You sound louder than that.
She's a little giddy right now.
I love it.
So how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Mark, we're live, right? Everybody's out there. I hope everybody's having an amazing Valentine's Day. It was kind of funny because I stopped by the store this morning to get our daughter a little Valentine's treat, and literally the whole store was packed of those last minute men that were in there buying cards and everything like that. And then she came back from CVS and she said all the men were in the card aisle.
Yep.
Mark, did you buy your card yet? He's shaking his head no. Uh-oh. Did we put you on the spot?
Those procrastinator men.
That's all right. There were women there too.
There was like nothing left.
Well, I'm not on camera, but no, neither one of us got each other the card. She's actually in bed sick.
Uh-oh.
And we've been hanging out with some friends yesterday, and so this week we've just been kind of one of those weeks. And
so is she sick or is she hungover?
No, she's sick.
Yeah. And, hanging out with friends.
Not really hungover, but just sick. But no, we're gonna, after this show and everything, I'm gonna go home a little early, and we're gonna go out to an early dinner because don't want to go out there with all the other crazy people.
Exactly.
Because on Valentine's Day is one of the worst days to go out with your spouse because you could wait in line for an hour or so, or you might not get it all unless you made reservations.
Oh, that's why we're going on a date right after this.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. That's what we're doing.
It's really weird because our daughter, she has a date tonight.
Yeah, she does.
And he actually pulled out all the stops and he made a reservation.
Isn't she too young for that? And she should
16.
stay at home.
She's almost 16, you know.
Jeez.
I told them I would make them dinner and I would wait on them, but
Actually, secretly, you and I are going to go get a table next to them in the same restaurant. We're going to spy on them.
That's not weird at all.
Creepy.
So yeah, we're gonna go have a nice little date, you know, and then obviously we're gonna have to be the drivers and the chauffeurs for our daughter's date later on this afternoon. So, but anyways, hey, let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. What do we got coming up in the next week or so?
Casino Royale.
Yeah, everybody knows about our Casino Royale that we've got going on. Our
Can't wait.
third annual Casino Royale. This one is just shaping up to be bigger and better. You know, I got off the phone with a couple people from Chicago and California that are flying in for the event. Just tons and tons of NFL athletes, a couple local celebrities going to be there. It's just shaping up to just being an amazing event.
Are you going to dance with me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come on, sweetheart. You know that. I may have to wear some socks this time because the last time I tore up the back of my heels because I was wearing those loafers, but
And your crop pants.
and my little crop pants that everybody made fun of, but I didn't care because you liked it, and that's all that matters. So you've got your outfit picked out. Are you sticking with it this time?
I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
And it's a surprise, so I can't say that. So shh, don't tell anyone.
That's right. You know, she's the fashion extraordinaire, and usually what she wears, the next
I'll
week,
make you look good next to me.
the next year, it seems like everybody wants to emulate what you were wearing the day before or something like that. That's your realm. When you wear an outfit, all of a sudden 20 other people go and buy that outfit the next day.
I love it. Remember last year I had the black with the big, it was sort of like 80s inspired.
It was.
That little black.
But then we had
on
like
it.
4 other events that we went to, and literally
Yeah.
everybody bought the same type of dress for the next event. We're like, oh,
Love
that's
it.
so last week.
Just fashionistas over here.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny because, I mean, you'll wear like something off the shoulder or, you know, asymmetric. And the fact that I know all this is.
I know, you were so good with your fashion terms.
But the thing is I've seen like all of your friends and I've seen just people that your acquaintances, all of a sudden they're wearing almost the exact same outfit the next day, whether it's like your flare pants, your bell bottoms or anything like that. All of a sudden everybody's wearing them now. I'm like, yep.
Everybody wants my pink shoes, my Valentine's pink shoes that I have on today.
Yeah. Nobody wanted your shirt.
They liked my shirt too. But I mean, unfortunately, the pink booties kind of overrode the
I can
A
understand
poofy-
that. I can
poofy
understand.
sleeve shirt.
So next week we got Casino Royale, February 20th, 2020. Doors are going to open up 30 minutes earlier this time, so they're going to open up at 5:30, and that's just going to give everybody a chance to just mingle, get a drink in their hand, listen to some good music. But at the same time, it's just about the network and getting to know. We have a lot of veterans that are going to be there. We have a lot of guys that are going to be and gals that are going to be in uniform. So it gives everybody an opportunity to actually sit down, have a great conversation before all the fun starts.
Is there going to be food?
Oh, there's going to be tons of food.
What kind of food?
That's a secret. No, there's going to be a salsa bar with multiple different salsas. There's a macaroni and cheese bar.
All my favorite things. We're gonna carb overload.
Basically, it's a menu inspired by Sage McEuin.
Yay!
Aside from the carving station for the meat because she's a vegetarian.
Yeah.
It's just we learned our lesson because the first year we had no vegetarian options other than rolls. And so she carb loaded on like 20 rolls.
Yeah.
And then
Bud Light and rolls.
let's
just say I was a little bloated the next day.
So when we do our after action review after the calls, and the first thing we said is, hey, so what are some things we can improve on? The first thing she said, the food. I was like, what was wrong with the food? Because I didn't eat that night. And she was like, well, there was nothing vegetarian except for like a piece of lettuce that I could put on my sandwich.
It's sort of like your wedding. Like you don't eat.
Yeah, very true. I don't know what it is the last 2 years I haven't eaten.
I'll make you a plate this year.
Okay, I would appreciate that.
Okay.
But we have a macaroni and cheese bar, which is going to have just different kinds of macaroni and cheese. Some of it has meat in it, some of it doesn't. But then we have a carving station. It's just Verona Villa, Jason Young and Mackenzie Judah and Kara over there at Verona Villa. They have just pulled out all the stops. They help us out so much. Mm-hmm. And, it was like, why fix it? Last year was so perfect. Why change the menu? Because the thing is guess what? It's a year later. Exactly a year later, we can go in there and have the best time. We'll have 2 bars again this year. Fast Forward Valet, Jordan Knowles from Fast Forward Valet is going to be out there. So if it's cold like it's been the last few days, or even just raining like it has the last few days, you're not going to have to worry about it because he's going to be there parking everybody's car,
awesome.
Him and his company. We will have a coat check because obviously it'll be a little chilly, so you'll want to check your coat. Our beautiful daughter is going to be there with her friends, actually running the coat check and our swag table. What else we got going on?
Poker.
Well, poker, of course.
The biggest thing there.
But that's
I can't wait to see everyone at the last table.
I know, that's
so
pretty crazy,
exciting.
right?
Yeah.
Super
I think the first
excited.
year I was like too busy dancing.
True.
And so I didn't even like go into the poker room.
You
But
didn't
last
even know there
year,
was poker there.
I didn't even know there was poker. I was like, what are all those people doing in there? But last year was exciting.
You know what's crazy is last year. So the first year, it was kind of like there was so much going on all over the place.
Yeah.
So the final table, it had maybe about 20, 30 people around it. Last year, there was like everybody was in the poker room. And then as soon as the final table, you couldn't have asked for, a better final table because it was like you had Dana Cheney, who is Mayor Cheney's wife.
Oh,
You had Mayor Masso, the former mayor of Frisco. Mm-hmm. You had 2 NFL players. You had one of our top sponsors with Lithium Motors. Then you had Miss Texas.
Oh, she was there? I know she was there.
She was at the final table.
Yeah.
So you had NFL athletes.
A diverse group.
It was a very diverse group. You had, Mayor Massa. You had a guy from Lithium Motors. You had Miss Texas. You had NFL athletes. And then you just had random people. And then all of a sudden it comes down to it and everybody's getting knocked out. The final table literally lasted 5 minutes because everybody's adrenaline got going and literally everybody was going all in.
Well, I think they get so excited because they're playing for a seat at the World Series of Poker.
I know, right?
That's
And
like
where else
awesome.
are you going to find a World Series of Poker event in Texas?
I mean, I've been here 20 years and I've
Guess
never
what?
heard that.
You're not going to find it because we're the only place in the entire state that has a World Series of Poker license.
Wow.
If you want to get a World Series of Poker seat, you'd have to go up to WinStar, up to Oklahoma in order to just go and try your hand at getting a seat. But the thing is just to get into one of their pokers is over $1,000.
Really?
Just to get into ours, it's a $250 donation, which every dollar goes back to helping veterans get to work after they get out of the service. So it's just, I don't know, it's a no-brainer for me. It's like if you're a poker player and you want to go and have a good time and actually give back to to veterans, this is a perfect event for you to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is some of our listeners are probably like, well, I don't play poker. What else can I do?
They don't play poker.
So
can they play poker at the poker table and like be taught?
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like if you and I were going to the event and I didn't know how to play poker, you could help me.
Well, they can help you, but the thing is if they're playing with you,
yeah,
if they're playing against you,
oh,
they don't want you to win.
Help. True.
It's not like
That's
blackjack where you're getting money from the dealers, because the people
true.
you're playing against are sitting at your table.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean there is something for everybody. If you don't play poker, we're gonna have other casino games. So we're gonna have blackjack. So I know that since I taught you how to play blackjack, you're probably gonna actually want to play this year.
Yeah.
But there's blackjack, there's craps, there's roulette.
Is there slot machines?
There's not going to be slot machines this year.
The fish game?
I get, maybe we should just have one year where it's just all
I would not get
all
up
slot
from the
machines.
table.
But like we're going to have a slot championships.
That would be fun. Maybe we'll do that next year.
Yes.
Okay.
That would be
Mental note.
well, I'm just sitting here going to think, how would we actually do that? Because we had slot machines the first year, but they were upstairs, but nobody knew where they were, and nobody even played them.
No one went up there.
So this year, everything is going to be down on the floor. We've got everything just kind of we've learned and we've improved our processes over the last 2 years. So this year, I just think it's going to be the best year yet. You know, I'm pretty excited.
It's all your hard work, babe.
It's not my hard work, right? We have a phenomenal team.
Yeah, true.
You're on the team, and you're in charge.
Go team.
So here's the thing. When you get there and you see all the beautiful decorations, that is attributed to my beautiful and amazing wife. She's doing all of that. She's pulled out all the stops, and she's been working her tail off to make this amazing. So I couldn't do it without you.
Oh, love you.
So we've got a great team. You know, we've got Mark here in the studio. Megan actually walked in, and she's one of our volunteers. She'll be at the front door when you get there. I mean, we're gonna have poker, blackjack, roulette, craps, a huge silent auction table.
Oh yeah. Everybody wants to come and get the ladies package.
And let's not forget about the
Oh,
ladies AR-15.
Oh yeah.
So we have a special AR-15 that's just for the ladies.
I feel like if you don't come just to see that, then you're not living your best life.
Something is wrong with you.
Yeah,
and the fact that my wife is
Yeah.
actually talking about an AR-15 on the air, her mom's probably out there having.
My mom's like going. She's probably. Do you think she's listening? Hey, mom.
She probably is. She probably is. Hi, mom. She's probably out there going. She's talking about a gun.
I know. She wouldn't even let me do like this.
And now you're doing it on the air, so everybody in the world can see it.
I know. Anyway, there'll be lots of other good things.
Oh yeah, we've got tons of things. I mean, if you like sports memorabilia, that's going to be there. Trips, that's going to be there. Just remember that every dollar that we raise goes to the mission of Project Reload, which helps educate corporate America on the value of hiring veterans. And in turn, over the last 4 years, Project Reload has helped over 4,000 veterans get back to work. And it's just a phenomenal opportunity to be able to, do your part, because just last year we raised enough money where we were able to help 900 veterans get back to work. So I mean, this year we want to get that number over 1,000. So we need everybody to dig deep into their pockets. It's going to be just a phenomenal time. Phenomenal. Yeah, I can't even talk today. A phenomenal opportunity for you to do something that, it's not about just going out there and doing something nice for somebody else. What it is it's actually going out there and contributing to somebody else's mission, to somebody else's heart. Because, we've become such a superficial society, and everybody wants to show up and take a picture at an event, post it on social media, and say, I did my part.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I'm super.
They can do that. Buy a ticket and
come to the event.
The photo booth.
We have
they have like the best pictures. The lighting's like amazing.
Yes. So we have a state-of-the-art photo booth. We've got silent auction. We've got DJ Dawadu that's going to be out there. I don't want to say turning the tables or spinning the records, because I don't know if that's what they do anymore. But
I know they go like this.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing that. But he's got some games that he's going to be playing. He's one of those DJs that'll pull out a couple hula hoops and get a whole bunch of people out there doing the hula hoop challenge.
That's awesome.
I mean, he's just gonna. It's gonna be just a rock star event. We're super pumped up about it. We always laugh and we're gonna say, "Oh, we're super excited."
Super excited.
Because every social media influencer is super excited about this event. So how was your day so far? I mean,
My day's been great.
Yes.
It's better now that I'm here.
With me.
With my Valentine.
Yes. So let's just tell the world what you do, because I mean, you are a jack of all trades and a master at all of them.
Well, thank you. Yes, I am a senior styling director at JCPenney.
Pennies.
At Penny's, which is our if you live in Texas and you haven't been to the new store in Hurst, Texas, go check it out. It's amazing. So that's what I do by day.
Okay.
By night, I'm a wife and a mother.
Awesome.
And
but let's talk. I mean, you do more than that. Think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the thing is what people don't really realize is, yes, you're the senior styling director for JCPenney, but the thing is you do a heck of a lot more than that. You lead a lot of their philanthropy teams. You are part of the globalization of the brand by, I mean, you're styling professional athletes on a regular basis. Just talk about some of the athletes that you style, have styled, and currently style, because I know a lot of our listeners obviously know a lot of these names.
Yeah.
And, I just couldn't be more proud to just sit here and just be awestruck every single day about everything that you do on a regular basis.
Oh, thanks, babe. Yeah, so I have the pleasure of styling NFL and NBA draftees that are going into the draft.
And how long have you done that?
I think it's been 5 years.
Wow.
Our first one was like Frank Kaminsky. Do you remember that? Do you remember him?
That's like a baseball player.
Frank Kaminsky?
Isn't that a baseball player?
Basketball.
Oh.
He plays basketball. And that wasn't even for the draft though. That was like Carson Wentz I think he was one of the first ones. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, because your first draft was Carson Wentz and Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Right?
Which we won't talk about we won't talk about that. But anyway.
Why? Why don't we want to talk about that one?
Apparently crop tops were the trend back then.
But you didn't style the crop top.
I didn't style the crop top.
Oh, so he went rogue on that one, right?
He went rogue.
He zeked out on that one?
Zeked out.
It's all right. We're only like in the shadows of the star right now, so
we're gonna get a letter. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll get a letter. I don't care. I've got plenty of NFL athletes coming to Casino Royale next week, and guess what? They will probably all make fun of the crop top too.
So you're gonna wear a crop top for a casino?
No, I don't think people want to see my midriff.
I'm gonna dress you in a crop top.
Oh no, you're gonna have to put like cards or something around my stomach with a belly chain, because we're gonna have. I mean, we were talking about rolls. Yeah, I got rolls for days.
Remember, one year we were gonna make a card pocket square.
Yeah, that was tragic. That was tragic.
Anyway, that's our creativity.
All right, so you got NFL athletes, NBA athletes that you've done for the draft. Yeah. You've been all over all these videos with Bleacher Report, and it's just every single day. It's like it's funny because I'll log into social media and I'm like, oh, there's my wife. Oh, look, there's my wife. Oh, look at this. We had that shooting at that high school just recently.
South Oak Cliff
High School. There was that shooting where that young man passed away from his injuries. But you went and you styled one of their basketball players for his prom.
Such a great family. Yeah, we did a partnership with Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaq and I dressed him for prom and baccalaureate, and he was looking dapper in his J4R suits. We went to the Hearst store and did a fitting, and there was a ton of media there, and it was just to see the smile on his face and light up the room was just awesome, and he looked so great. Like, he was so happy.
Oh, I'm sure.
And like that kind of stuff is just like what makes me love what I do. I think being a fashion stylist is really all about like building confidence in people and just making them feel like their best self, and from a wardrobe perspective. So,
well, I know that even just some of the veterans that you've dressed, you've helped them with their suits, and it's an empowering thing because, a lot of these veterans, when they transition out and they end their service to the country, they've been given everything that they were going to wear for their career, whether it was their fatigues, their camouflage uniforms, their dress uniforms, that is all they knew as far as what their closet was. And, we did that video in 2017, which is where we met.
Yeah.
And, in the video, it's like my closet used to be all camouflage uniforms and my dress uniform. Now it's pocket squares and ties and cufflinks. And that's kind of how my transition was, because I didn't know how to wear a suit.
How did you figure out how to wear a suit? Did you have a fabulous stylist?
I did not have a fabulous stylist, but I do now. You know, I had this stylist. The first time I ever got styled, I had this stylist. It was in Grayling, Michigan, in February. Actually, it was 3 years
I was
ago.
like, was there a stylist in Grayling?
There is a stylist in Grayling. So it was actually, and I'll just say, and we'll let our listeners know, but we have today. Yes, it's Valentine's Day, but today is actually 3 years ago that, you know, my beautiful bride and we actually started dating. She told me she doesn't do long distance, but what did I say? All I can do is prove it to you. And I flew here every week for six and a half months before I decided to move here. And we've been writing our love story ever since.
Yes, we have.
So, but when she was measuring my inseam, I said, "What are you doing the rest of your life?" And see, I knew I'd get her to blush. See, right there in that camera, you're going to be able to blush. No, but the thing is, you know, every veteran, they don't understand, and it's like when they actually get out, what they're going to do is they're going to Google how to wear a suit.
Yeah.
What's the best suit? Or they're going to go to the Men's Warehouse and they're going to get told to buy the most expensive suit or anything like that. Because obviously people say, oh, the suit makes the man.
Yeah.
I don't agree. I honestly think that if you know your body type, you know what looks good on you,
Colors,
and what feels good on
fabrics,
you, go with it. But the thing is,
best self.
Exactly, your best self every single day. And I mean, when you go to JCPenney, they've got an amazing suit section.
We do, yeah.
And
at a really good price.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's one of the best things about it is we're so, you know, comparable to a lot of brands, but the price point is so much more affordable, which is why our tailor does so well. You know, they're really well made too. And there's like really great fashion.
Well, I know it's the only suits I wear.
Yes, it is.
It's the only suit that my wife allows me to wear.
Well, I remember that day in Grayling when I was dressing and doing everyone's fittings, I was like, oh, these are veterans. They have to be very gray or black. Like, we can't do anything flashy. But I do remember one person that was like, can I wear those blue suede shoes? And
that was me.
That bright blue jacket.
That was me.
That was when I was like, oh, I know it's love at first sight.
Well, you know what? For me, it was everybody else was wearing gray and black.
Because I didn't want to like scare anyone when I brought all the wardrobe.
So for me, it was like, you know what? I obviously I needed to stand out because I run the organization.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I had this beautiful stylist like saying, oh, this is going to look great. And I was like, okay, well, what can I do to get her attention?
Yeah.
Let me talk about those blue suede shoes.
Yeah.
And literally it all started with blue suede shoes. And I still have those shoes to this day.
I love
Those
are like some great shoes.
I actually just wore them the other day to school.
Those are actually Collection by Michael Strahan.
Yes.
Which is a great line that we have at JC.
And, you know, Michael Strahan has been a huge supporter of Project Reload for the last couple of years. You know, he did that video for us and has actually signed a bunch of autographs for us for our silent auction. No, just the entire organization, the entire company has just been phenomenal. And I just, you know, I could not be more proud to just have, number one, have you on the show. So
I know, I'm so I always watch you and I'm almost like, how does this work? I'm excited to be here.
You know, it was so funny the other night.
How do you know if people are watching?
Because Mark's over there monitoring. It's on social media.
I was like, when I watch, I always say hi.
No, so we get a bunch of analytics, and one of the things is we get analytics from all the social media platforms that we're on. But at the same time, Mark has some behind the scenes analytics because, you know, we have SoundCloud, Mixcloud, TuneIn, and just a bunch of other apps that people can log in.
That's
so like
cool.
when people are driving in their car, they can actually click on TuneIn and like our logo, the Vet Talks logo will come up. People can click on it and they can listen to that. We can also, it's on our website. So we get all the analytics and we bring it together, and we have thousands upon thousands of listeners every single week.
That's
so
awesome.
It's pretty exciting.
I just love hearing all the stories of the veterans that you have on, you know, and what they're doing to give back and what they, you know, kind of what they do after they get out of the service.
Well, it's funny because when we first met you, and I know that Christian asked you the question, he was just like, have you ever met a veteran? And you're like, no, I've never.
No, he actually said, have you ever been around veterans?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was like, no, is it that obvious? Well, and that's the thing is like, I don't know what I was doing. Like, what was I doing? Like,
at that time you were steaming a shirt.
Maybe I was like, tell me your life story. And oh yeah, that was funny. We should talk about that. How when we were driving in Grayling and I was just, I was simply just trying to get to know you. And so I said, why don't you tell me your life in 3 sentences?
And then everybody in the car started
Just to,
cracking
like-
up like, yeah, Casey, we want to hear it in 3 sentences.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, I thought that was so funny because now obviously I know, your beautiful story and about resilience and overcoming everything, and just to think that was how naive I was, like, and asked that,
Well, I will tell you the funniest thing, I want to say the funniest thing about that experience was the night we went out to dinner that night with the group. And you're like, do you have PTSD?
Oh yeah, guys, maybe that's why he asked me that. Have you ever been around well, and that's like the stereotype.
That's the stereotype,
And that's like
exactly.
what the beautiful thing about Project Reload is. One of the many, obviously, many amazing things is that, you go out on these missions and you actually do get to be around like really amazing people, like from a corporate perspective, but also from a veteran perspective. And all those stereotypes that are so sad in our society that, I'm sure a fashion stylist, I have my own stereotype. And like,
Well, I was going to say, because if you say I'm a stylist, what is the first thing people always say?
they look at my hair.
They look at your hair. They
And I
look
was
at your
like,
nails.
Don't be looking at my hair. But like, yeah, they think, beauty stylist. And so that's why I always say fashion, wardrobe and,
Right.
Things like that. So, but I think, to go out on those missions and be able to not only have the privilege and the honor and like just the excitement around being around them, around veterans, but also seeing what y'all did on like a daily basis. Like I was blown away, like absolutely blown away.
And
like,
you've been on a couple of them.
yeah, but I do remember like my first time, and it wasn't considered like, I guess it was a mission because we were kind of doing a mission that when we were filming that GBS video or commercial or whatever. And I just remember like, just like that shooting the gun, like, and I was literally like, could not stop smiling. Like I was
I know.
so
I still got the pictures to prove it. Like sitting there
I mean,
firing the gun with a big old smile on your face, and I was like,
then
"Come on, you got to be a killer."
I feel like I'm a little too happy to be doing this. Like I should probably be like not looking.
I'm sitting
so
here killing.
psycho.
I'm sitting here killing the enemy, and I'm laughing.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is I don't want to say that I've corrupted her brain, but the thing is now we'll watch every movie.
Why is everything we watch
everything? Or she doesn't like scary movies, but she will watch a movie where there's a sniper blowing somebody's head off, and she's like, "Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, that was a good shot." I'm like, "Babe, calm down."
So funny. Well, like Sunday we went and saw 1917.
1917.
Yeah, and then like we got home and watched the Pacific. I was like, why was our whole day based around? But I think it's really not about obviously the blowing up. It's about the respect to me.
Yeah.
It's about how like. I think we all take it for granted, like day to day, just driving down the street, being able to go to Starbucks like I do, whatever, the freedom that we have. And it's 100% because of our, armed forces or whatever, like the veterans and everything. Like, and the fact that Project Reload is giving an opportunity to give back to that. I think we post things on social media, like come to Casino Royale and, things like that. But truly, if you can't come to Casino Royale, that's okay. You can buy a ticket as in your heart. Like everybody has those, like, like whether it's like you donate for animals or whatever, and I think give back, just buy a ticket so you can allow, a veteran to have a break, and take their family or take their wife on a date or whatever it is, because we forget that these men and women go for months, 18 months at a time away from their families, and
Great point.
It's just a small, a ticket really is not even a thank you enough, but it's just something that you can do.
Well, that's a great point. And I mean, we actually have, like, if they go to our website, there's a ticket link right there on the very front page.
Mm-hmm.
When they go on it, there is obviously the general admission, and there's a poker seat. But then there's also sponsor a veteran. You can sponsor a veteran to play poker. You can sponsor a veteran just to come to the event. And we do have a long waiting list of veterans that can't afford to come to the event.
And that just breaks my heart because I would literally buy 700 tickets and let everyone.
And I know you would. And the big thing is we have those people out there. Like we have a plethora of people up in Chicago that aren't going to be coming down to the event. But the thing is they've all contributed, and they've actually purchased tickets for Veterans to Show. So, I mean, if you're not available on February 20th to come to the event, Sage said probably one of the most amazing things, you can still give back. Yeah. You can still go on there and buy a ticket for somebody, and it's going to be 100% tax deductible.
Maybe you're like a Netflix and chill girl and you'd rather stay home on a Thursday night. That's okay. But buy a ticket for someone that does want to go out. I get it. I like to put on my jammies and like chill too with my electric blanket when it's
90 degrees out,
when it's 90
electric
degrees.
blanket.
But
Yeah.
like, you can still give back, and there's just so many ways, and that's what's awesome. And if you're kind of feeling like in your heart like compelled to do something next year, be a part of our team.
Absolutely.
We're so fun. I mean, you're really fun because hello.
Well, you're so
like,
fun.
It's your team, but like
It's our team.
It's our team.
It's we over me.
You and Mark are awesome, Mark. And it's fun. And it's not a lot of like heavy lifting or a lot of work. It's obviously a well-oiled machine by now, but join the team and be a volunteer because we're always looking for volunteers.
We cannot do it without the volunteers.
Yeah.
So we are running out of time. We are actually we're overtime right now. Yeah. So I'm gonna finish this show the same way I finish every show. Okay. We have been married now for almost 3 years. We've been together for 3 years, and we've been married for 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You really didn't do anything for veterans before you met me.
No, and it breaks my heart that I didn't.
But now all of a sudden, everything you want to do with as far as philanthropy and everything like that, your first one is always veterans.
Amen.
Why is it that you feel the need to serve now? Just why do you have such a big heart in for veterans? And remove me from it because I want to hear it from you.
No, but in all honesty, like that's such a great question because it's awareness and knowing, and it's almost like being submerged in it and really seeing the value, just like not even like the value, but just like everything that goes on. Like I always just sit back and be like, I'm a fashion stylist. Oh my gosh, we had a fashion emergency. Like a sleeve wouldn't roll properly. And every day, like there's people on the front line. Like, I mean, I know the movies that we watch are probably a little exaggerated, but like, it's
a tidbit.
It's like I go into work like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna have for lunch? It's like you into work. Am I gonna be alive at the end of this day? And these men and women do it not as a job, but as a service, as I'm serving my people and my country.
Amen.
So
no, I love that. And one of the big things that you said is that, sometimes when you get frustrated about, a fashion emergency or everything, because I know when we talk, you'll talk and you'll vent about something that happened. And,
me vent?
But the thing is what do we always say? Did anybody die today?
Yeah.
And we just kind of put it in perspective because it's like, you know what? There is nothing in this world that is so tragic or so like life, threatening to know that, oh my gosh, my day was so horrible because it's like, I went to lunch an hour late.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have soldiers deployed right now
Exactly.
who don't know when their next meal is going to be.
Yeah.
Or if they're ever going to have another meal.
And I would like to ask the listeners if they've ever had an MRE. If you've never had an MRE, go run now and have the tortellini one. They're the most amazing food ever. Just wanted to call that out.
So now I need to call the company that makes MREs and
they are so good.
Because I have a vegetarian that gave them a huge shout out for their vegetarian one, and that's the one that nobody ever wants.
Really, that's so good. And then the cheese spread is really good too. So, but actually,
so instead of taking her out on a date for Valentine's Day, I'm just gonna go get her an MRE and we're gonna eat MREs at home.
We're gonna shoot guns and have an MRE. That'd be so great.
That's the best kind. All right, say we are out of time. We are actually 3 minutes over. I know Mark wants to get home to his Valentine, so we're gonna wrap it up. Hey, this is Casey McEuin for Vet Talks. Hey, go out and make an impact in somebody's life today. Hey, if you want to make an impact this next week, buy a ticket to Casino Royale. Even if you're going to come or you're not going to come, buy a ticket for somebody else. Come, show your support. Have a phenomenal time. For some reason, phenomenal is like my word of the day because I've used that about 100 times.
Mine's cute.
Well,
you're so cute.
Thank you. You're gorgeous. I know everybody out there is probably throwing up on their phone or whatever, but we don't care. It's viral love.
Viral love.
Go out there having an amazing Valentine's Day with the loves of your life.
Spread the love.
Spread the love. Go out there.
Smooches.
Go out there and just make a positive impact in somebody's life today. I'm Casey McEuin. We'll see you next week.
Love on a veteran.